This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Rose by Ripley Proserpina. Foreword. Dear reader, thank you for picking up Rose. This book is a spin-off from the Midnight's Crown series, which includes Briar, Shadow of Thorns, and Diadem of Blood and Bones. Rose's story takes place in the same universe as those books, so you'll see some familiar characters. If you haven't read those books yet and would like to, you can find them here. https://amazon.to/2tcanfjm. I hope you love Rose as much as I loved writing her. Love, Ripley. 1. Rose. 10 years ago, Rose Corrado should have listened to her mother. Stay inside, lock the doors. Dying, she stared up at the bare branches against a winter sky and thought about how beautiful the night was. But the ground was cold and hard. The creature bit through her skin, holding her in his arms like she was a baby. Such a pretty girl. Stay inside, lock the doors. The wind picked up, rattling the branches and whipping the leaves across her face. He dropped her, and what little breath she had huffed out like a tiny puff of smoke. Poof! Boston was in chaos. Creatures, demons, had crawled out of hell to devour all of them. That's what the priest at church said. And from what Rose saw on the news, he was right. Angel of God, my guardian dear. Mom had to work. She was a nurse and the hospitals were busy, but she hadn't wanted to go. Stay inside, lock the doors. From the window, she'd watched Mom run to her car and speed away. At 12, Rose could follow directions. The creature, who smelled like mud and rotted leaves and something else, something sour, stared into the darkness for a moment before hunching over her. He bit her neck and licked the blood that flowed from her wounds. She was a delicacy and he took his time with her. Bite, pain, bite, pain. Rose didn't want to die, but it hurt so much. So while he appeared in no hurry to kill her, she had no illusions. She was going to die soon. Stay inside, lock the doors. Tonight was the first snow. She'd thought stupidly, it would be safe in the backyard. I just want to catch a snowflake. And she had, for a second, until the creature had touched her ankle, dragging her down to the ground. It had burned the first bite, like she'd chopped peppers and rubbed her eyes. The heat spread from each wound he made on her body. He was hungry. The creature, crawling, sliding, sipping, nipped at her body like she was a fancy cake. One bite here, another there. It didn't hurt as much anymore. She didn't even feel the cold, and she'd long given up struggling. His hands were on her shoulders as he slithered up to her face and stared down at her. Pretty girl, he said again. Until he spoke, she hadn't known whether he was male or female. He'd just been an amorphous nightmare, genderless, made of squishy white skin, a wide, sharp-toothed mouth, and eyes that glowed like an animal's. Pressing his nose flat against her cheek, he breathed in deeply. Like she was a flower. Pretty girl. A pretty smell. One more bite. This was it. The moment she died. Only she didn't. Someone picked up the creature, and he screamed. There was a snap, like a branch breaking off a tree, and the night was silent again. The lights of Boston kept the sky from getting too dark, and she was glad of that. She wouldn't want to die in blackness. A face appeared, hovering at the edge of her vision, and she rolled her head toward it. If the creature was a demon, then this was an angel. A man stared down at her, a pucker between his dark brows. His eyes were dark, darker than dark, nearly black, and he looked angry. Why was he angry with her? You're not going to die, he whispered, except his lips didn't move. Maybe he hadn't spoken. Angels didn't need to speak. She would have argued. She was 12 after all. She argued about everything, but she couldn't find her voice. She could have told him what was happening.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.